Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Man, it's a lot going on. When I tell you I was minding my business, okay, doing my good volunteerism, and so in between breaks, in between people coming to, donate blood, I said, well, let me go ahead and walk over to Twitter. Let's see what's going on Twitter. So, how I walked my ass to Twitter. I said, wow, who's Bubba? Blowing Bubba was trending. I said, well, excuse me, objection, okay? The only Bubba I know and recognize is Bubblegum Shrimp, okay? I gotta find Bubba. That's the only Bubba I know. Okay? So I'm like, well, who was blowing Bubba and what happened to him? Did he blow up? Is he okay? Who the fuck is Bubba? So I'm nosy, right? In between helping folks, I gotta find out who's Bubba. Okay, ma'am, you're gonna donate blood? Great. Here goes a name tag. Drink some water, get hydrated. We'll be with you in a few minutes. So after I sat her down, I'm like, let me go ahead and find out who is Bubba. And I go and I start looking through videos. I said, wait, Bill Clinton? His nickname is Bubba? I said, well, damn, this gives a whole new aspect to the big, beautiful Bill, bitch, okay? The big, beautiful Bill. Was it named after Bill Clinton? I'm just saying, okay? The only Bubbas we know is Bubba Gump, Bubba Sparks. We didn't know Bill Clinton's nickname was Bubba. Well, for y'all who don't know, they said that the Epstein files some of them, not the whole thing, but I think they said like 2,100 pages has been released by the Democrats, okay? And in those files, he was emailing Putin or asking if Putin had video of our commander-in-chief allegedly giving Bill Clinton, a.k.a. the saxophone man, some Lulu. If y'all don't know who Lulu is, that's Monica Lewinsky. Okay, back in the day, after that scandal broke, people used to call ahead getting Lulu. So they're saying that good old Trump gave Lulu to Bubba, a.k.a. Bill Clinton. I said, what in the reality TV show is going on here? Like, this can't be real life. This can't be real life. Like, you can't make this stuff up. I said, what in the damn Mossad blackmail bullshit is going on here? So it is a mess. They said he is spiraling on Blue Social, whatever the hell that other bootleg site he be on. He's been on there going off. He wants to investigate the Democrats. Like I said, I was minding my damn business, honey. I said, well, damn, shit. Pimping ain't easy, I guess. I mean, goodness. Jeffrey Epstein, that rabbit hole goes deep, honey, okay? Very deep. And poor Virginia Dufresne, they said she got hit by a bus, and then she came out and said that, nobody could find the footage of the bus hitting her, and then all of a sudden she just died. So I don't know. It's a lot of stuff going on, honey. It's too much. Too much. So we're going to go ahead and watch some videos here that I was able to put together, some news clips of all the stuff that's going on with Bubba, okay, and this whole Epstein file situation. Now, what I find very interesting is that, this was a main talking point of Team MAGA. Everybody wanted the Epstein files because, Joe Biden was in there somewhere and all the Democrats. And then it went from that to then all of a sudden becoming a hoax. And then they got quiet. Megyn Kelly, Dan Bongino, that tiny man, what's the little tiny man on the Daily Wire with the weird voice, Ben Shapiro, they were all down, to expose the Epstein files when Biden was in office, and then all of a sudden it was an about face done, okay? And that about face kind of came out at the Elon Musk went on a coke rant, allegedly. He went off on Twitter and let everybody know that, Donald Trump was in the Epstein files. And then after that, it was a whole about face. Now, another person who was trending on Twitter that, shocked the hell out of me, Megyn Kelly. They're calling her Megyn R. Kelly. Okay? You can tell who done sold they souls, child. She's done a whole about face. She is playing mental gymnastics to make excuses that she would not give grace or excuses for anybody else, especially if they were on Team Democrat Party. She would not give those same excuses. So Megyn R. Kelly was trending all over Twitter. And I was sipping slow. Them white folks was dragging the shit up out of her. Okay? Including MAGA folks. They was going in on Megyn Kelly. I don't know if y'all missed that earlier today. Oh, it's been a shit show. This has been a very good Friday, okay? It's been very interesting. So let's go ahead here. Let's watch this news clip where they're going to do some of the reading. Then we'll watch some other clips. And then we'll watch the response that just came from the White House like 2 hours ago, where now he wants the Democrats investigated. This is a Democratic hoax. That's what he's saying, okay? Let's go ahead and see what First Post got to say.
Made public by the House Oversight Committee on Wednesday contains shocking exchanges between Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell and others, painting a troubling picture of what may have happened behind closed doors. Among the most striking revelations is an email Epstein sent to his co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell back in 2011, where he wrote, and I quote, "I want you to realise that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump." Epstein went on to say that one of the young women, later identified by Democrats as a victim, spent hours at his house with Donald Trump. In her reply, Maxwell said that she had been thinking about that as well. The emails also reveal that in 2015, when Trump was seeking the Republican nomination for the White House, journalist Michael Wolff wrote to Epstein,
"I hear CNN is planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in scrum afterwards."
If we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be?
"I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency."
Years later, in 2019, Epstein reportedly wrote to Wolff saying that Trump had asked him to resign from Mar-a-Lago, although, according to Epstein, he was never a member of the president's exclusive club in Florida. In the same email, Epstein added that of course Trump knew about the girls, and even claimed that Trump had once asked Maxwell to stop. But the emails go beyond accusations. They show that Epstein's inner circle continued tracking Trump's movements long after their friendship reportedly ended. In one message from November 2016, Epstein's pilot informed him that Trump was scheduled to depart on a certain flight. The files also show Epstein's associates regularly forwarding news stories about Trump, suggesting the disgraced financier kept a close eye on his one-time friend. In fact, Epstein even mocked Trump in a message to former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, calling him borderline insane. The reaction to these revelations has been swift and polarized. Democrats say the emails deepen the questions surrounding Trump's past association with Epstein and have demanded the release of the full Epstein files, believed to contain years of travel records and correspondence. Republicans, meanwhile, are pushing back hard. They accuse Democrats of cherry-picking a handful of messages from over 23,000 documents to create what they call a clickbait scandal. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt also defended President Trump.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep.
And this comes as President Trump has himself denied that he knew about Epstein's sexual abuse of underage girls and women. After these recent emails were made public, President Trump fired back on his Truth Social platform, accusing Democrats of trying to revive the Jeffrey Epstein hoax to distract from their failures on the government shutdown. The newly released emails have opened another chapter in the long and tangled history between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. What happens next will depend on whether the full set.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and let's mosey on to IG because there's some videos on IG I wanna.
Mean Epstein wrote in an email that Trump knew what he was doing the entire time and hung out at a house with one of his victims for hours on end? What do you mean that email has been in the possession of both the DOJ and a reporter and Congress this entire time and was only released this morning? What do you mean by that? Why now? Where has this been the whole time? The email is from 2011. 2011. 2011 was, let me do math here, 14 years. The email is old enough to be a victim.
Damn.
Why is it taking so long?
He said the email, objection. He said the email is old enough to be a victim. Okay, clock it. Let's continue.
For this email to be shown to the world. What do you mean Epstein wrote in an email that...
He went off. Okay, let's go to the next child. He's
going
funny.
to catch us in the count strike today, folks, because letting me find out that we don't have the Epstein files because the Fanta-fascist was number 42's favorite fellatio expert.
Oh!
Friends, in a true-to-form reality TV star twist, it turns out our felonious Fuhrer may or may not have spent some time on his knees in front of a former president. This does beg the question. How y'all think Bill felt back when the Bone Spur Bandit ran the first time and he had to watch his wife and his side bitch fight? And are we now stuck in this situation because of one extremely nasty senior citizen love spat? And finally, how do we think the Coppertone Coward's followers are feeling right now? I know a lot of them are probably freaking the fuck out because they care more about their homophobia than they did the fact that him and his friends were doing it to kids. Find out next time on another exciting episode of Holy Shit, We're All Fucked. Seriously, folks, this is so fucking stupid. Funny, but fucking stupid. Anyways, sorry about the change of scenery and the echo of my voice. This hotel I'm staying at didn't have a fence for me to walk in front of, so we had to make do. Now I'm fixing to get ready to spend my weekend storming castles and sword fighting. Y'all have you a wonderful day, or at least the one you voted for deserve. Do me one favor, keep the motherfucking boots out of your motherfucking mouth, and remember that the golden rule will always remain yeehaw, fuck the law. I love y'all. I'll see you down the line.
He be cracking me up. He be going in. Oh my gosh, when I tell you, blowing Bubba was not on my bingo card, bitch, at all. All right, let's see. Now, you know Trump can't stand Harry, honey. He be dragging Harry.
Trump is freaking out on social media right now over the whole Epstein story. He's begging Republicans to stop talking about it. He's directing the DOJ to investigate other people and their ties to Epstein, just not his. It's crazy. At 9:30 this morning, Donald Trump said the Democrats are doing everything in their withering power to push the Epstein hoax. He's calling it a hoax again, which is so offensive to all of the Epstein victims who certainly didn't experience a hoax. Then he said some weak Republicans have fallen into their clutches because they are soft and foolish. Epstein was a Democrat. He is the Democrats' problem, not the Republicans' problem. Ask Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers about Epstein. They know about him. Don't waste your time with Trump. I have a country to run. I don't know. It kind of seems like a Republican problem. Nobody was better friends with Epstein than Donald Trump. Then he continued that rage at 10:35, announcing that he's asking Attorney General Pam Bondi and the FBI to investigate Epstein's involvement and relationship with Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, JP Morgan Chase, and many other people to determine what's going on with them and him. So there are photos and videos of Trump and Epstein. He's written birthday cards to him. There are emails talking about him and how he knew about the girls and everything like that. But Donald Trump wants other people investigated, just not him. It's a very clear distraction tactic happening here. But yeah, look, I mean, I think it's safe to say that Donald is not doing well right now. Donald Trump is freaking out.
The thing I don't understand is if he's saying that this is a hoax from the DOJ, then why is he trying to also have the DOJ people investigated? If it's a hoax, wouldn't it mean that it's a hoax for everybody involved? But I guess it's a hoax for him, but for everybody else, they need to be investigated. So very, very interesting.
Donald Trump is dead. Well, not literally, but his presidency just might be. And let me explain. So there has been 23,000 files that have been released, and within that is a ton of emails between Epstein and other people, especially Ghislaine Maxwell. But there's been some bombshells in those emails. Everything from Epstein advising the Russian government on how to deal with Donald Trump, to Epstein bragging that Donald Trump was with Donald Trump after his inauguration in his first term as president, to Donald Trump saying that, or to Epstein saying that Donald Trump walked into a glass wall while staring at young girls in the pool on his island. And now apparently him even saying that Clinton was never actually at his island. Now, we do know that Clinton was accused of being on an airplane going to Africa, where Epstein was trafficking a girl on that plane at the same time. But when it comes to Donald Trump, there is so much evidence that he lied about everything when it comes to his relationship with Epstein. And they're doing everything that they can to cover it up. And Donald Trump has not responded. He's not responded on Truth Social. When he was asked in the Oval Office, when he was signing the reopening of the government last night about this, no response. He's a lame duck president. If he loses the Republicans in the House and the Republicans lose control of the House in the midterms, Donald Trump is going to be an afterthought. The question is, what do you guys think about it? Donald Trump.
Oh, it's a lot of opinions. All right, let's see what Aaron has to say.
Now begging Republicans publicly to stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein. He wants them to stop. He said in a new Truth Social post minutes ago, Democrats are doing everything in their withering power to push the Epstein hoax again, despite the DOJ releasing 50,000 pages of documents in order to deflect from all of their bad policies and losses, especially the shutdown embarrassment, where their party is in total disarray and has no idea what to do. Some weak Republicans have fallen into their clutches because they are soft and foolish. Epstein was a Democrat, and he is the Democrats' problem, not the Republicans' problem. Ask Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, and Larry Summers about Epstein. They all know about him. Don't waste your time with Trump. I have a country to run. He is increasingly nervous. And folks, if it's a Democrat problem, and Jeffrey Epstein was a Democrat, and Trump could blame Democrats for something, you better believe he would have released the files by now. Just let that sink in. Spread the word. Full updates on my Substack, linked in bio.
And the thing that's funny when he's saying that it's a Democrat problem, when they had the chance before, because they kept using that as part of the whole campaign thing, release the files, we got to find the predators. Like, they were all saying this, Kash Patel, all of them. And so once they kind of took a peek in the files, and there was obviously some things in the files that didn't look good that would affect his presidential run, that would affect MAGA, because then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, get over it. We're done talking about the Epstein files. But this was being talked about by everybody on that side. And now that information is coming out that he's a potential, Hatua, now it's, it's a Democratic hoax. Did you not on that thing? Spit on that thing. All right. So now, let me see here. Let's go to X. And so Chris Cuomo put together a montage here of all the folks who were, who had something to say prior, who have now kind of switched it up. I think this is the montage. J.D. Vance, Kash Patel, and Don Bongino. This is when they were all calling for a release of the files. And now all of a sudden everybody's playing crazy. See no evil, hear no evil. So let's check this out.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. Why is the FBI protecting the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list?
Some governments around the world may have some material that's related to the Epstein thing. Bill Clinton was knee deep in this, man.
He was knee deep. Yeah, you got to release it. Now what? What changed?
Is he trying to do the cross-eyed thing that I be doing? Okay, sir. You need. Okay. It's just funny though, because it's almost like, is this you? Are these the same people who were crying a year ago to release the Epstein files? Now they're switching up. Now they're switching up their tune. Let's also look at Megyn Kelly. They have been dragging her ass, child. Let's see here. All right. So this is Megyn Kelly. This is fun. They even got like a little side by side. At least she wasn't 8 years old. So yeah, like I said, she's been trending. Megyn Kelly has been trending all day. So let's listen to what she said prior versus what she's saying now.
You feel as a victim. You feel a victim. To people who are going to be out there, because you know some are going to judge and say you were 15, you were 16, you were 17, you were a willing participant. Again, the legal age of consent in California is 18, so there's no consenting for a 14 or even a 17-year-old in these circumstances.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we...
Objection. Bitch, who gives a fuck? Who cares if they were 8 or 15? They're still underage. They're still children. A 15-year-old is not a grown adult. A 15-year-old is not legal. They're not even barely legal. Barely legal means 18. That's what people consider barely legal. 15 is not barely legal. You see how she's trying to do mental gymnastics to make excuses because, she's on the other team now? Whereas just a few years ago, when they were talking about, Scott Baio and his allegations, she was standing right behind old girl. But now you're trying to say, well, Lisa wasn't an 8-year-old. What is that supposed to mean? Don't you have children? I believe she might have a daughter. I'm not sure, but I know she has kids. So would you be cool with your 15-year-old daughter, hot toying on somebody who's old enough to be her father? Because at least she's not 8? Goofy.
We heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn. Now they call it child sexual abuse material on his computer that for the first time I thought, oh, no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. You can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. Yeah. It's just whatever.
Girl, shut the fuck up, bitch. Let me come back on the screen. And the thing that annoys me with her is that she has all this smoke on her show. She be on her show cussing, trying to be a little hood white girl, dropping F-bombs and stuff. But when it comes to this, all of a sudden you don't have the same energy. Well, at least it's not a 5 or 8-year-old. Nah, keep that same energy you have when you're talking shit about the Dems. When you're calling Jemele Hill ugly, bitch. Keep that same energy that you have for Jemele Hill. Because last time I checked, Jemele Hill was not on the Epstein list. But you had all types of smoke for her. You told her she needs to wear makeup. She needs to do something with her hair. You had all this smoke for Jemele as if Jemele did something to you. But now that we have receipts, it's, well, at least it's not an 8-year-old or a 5-year-old. Nah, where's the bass that you had in your voice for Jemele Hill? You have all this bass for everybody else. Where's the bass that was in your voice for Jemele Hill? Because like I said, last time I checked, she wasn't out here in nobody's island molesting nobody's 8 or 15-year-old child. Now let's clock that. You know, the mental gymnastics that these people are playing, the cherry picking, thank you, SW, the cherry picking that these folks are doing is sad and sick. Because again, this is the team of morality. You know, we're against pedophiles and pedophilia rings. Remember, what was that damn video that came out back in 2020? The whole, the whole rabbit hole and how Trump was the savior and he was going to save all these kids from these pedophile rings. Remember that? They were the ones pushing that and saying the Dems were pedophiles and they were, taking adrenochrome from children and all this other stuff. And now that real receipts are dropping, everybody's energy is different. Somebody in the chat said, where's Dan Bongino? They said he done disappeared. I don't follow him. I don't know what Dan is doing. Last time I seen Dan, he was ranting on Rumble. And that was before he ended up in the cabinet. So I don't know what Dan Bongino's doing now. He used to be ranting every other day. So I don't know. They said ain't nobody seen him in a while. Where'd he go? Dan, they're looking for you, sir. Where are you at? He's another one, be loud. Yeah, remember that, the whole drain the swamp? Thank you, Carla Scott. Yeah, that was the main, drain the swamp, drain the swamp, drain the swamp, drain the swamp. Now they're quiet. Now cats got their tongue, or maybe the deep got their tongue. I don't know. Something, you know what I'm saying? Now they can't speak. Now everybody's quiet. Yeah, I can't with these folks, honey. Elon been quiet too. Where Elon? Let me go. Let me walk over to Elon page. Where Elon up to? Somebody say, "Where's Elon?" Let's see. I'm on his social. I do follow Elon Musk. Let's see. Has he tweeted anything recently? 16 hours ago, something about Grok rocks. It's hard. It's a hard pathway. Elon talking about putting 2%. Yeah, he ain't said nothing. He's retweeting somebody. Tesla has released the first ever safety report. Neuralink patient. Let me see. This what Elon posted, child. Elon over there trying to play cute too. This Elon, he just posting normal shit. Elon's Neuralink patients talk almost as fast as anybody else now. I still don't trust it. Remember he killed them damn pigs? In the first experiment, they went from lively pigs to bacon and ham hocks, bitch. Okay? So yeah, Elon's kind of quiet. He been posting, but he ain't talking about that. Okay. So that's what he's up to, child. Nothing. Jasmine Crockett is trending. Why is she trending? Let's see. Hopefully Jasmine Crockett is dragging and saying something. Let's see. This was on the 13th. So they want to continue to swear person. Oh. Let's see. Jasmine has something to say, child. This was yesterday. Okay, I haven't seen this yet. We're going to watch what Jasmine had to say yesterday. At least we know she going to keep it real.
Sure that the Department of Justice didn't have this information, and if they didn't have this information, do we know whether or not they actually deleted this information? Do we know that there was a thorough investigation? Do we know whether or not the investigation had concluded? These are all questions that we need answers to, but we can't get them when you're not cooperating. So we don't know what the DOJ has, nor what it is that the DOJ potentially was trying to do. Considering that the president right now is trying to obstruct on some very basics of let's just get a subpoena that says release all the information, I wouldn't be surprised, just like he obstructed the prosecution of one of his henchmen who took $50,000 in taxpayer dollars from undercover officers. I wouldn't be surprised if he sent a message and said, stop investigating. We're done with this. Epstein's dead. I don't want to hear anything else about it.
Do you have any evidence of that claim?
I have no idea. No, that's the whole point. I have no information. And that's why we need these files to be released, because we are looking for transparency, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent. Listen, if people decide that they want to continue to support a person who may be a pedophile himself, or a person who obviously is covering for pedophiles, that's on them. But they should know at least the devil that they have decided to pick.
Oh, that's right. You know Jasmine gonna go off, honey. Okay, all right. You know Jasmine gonna keep it real. That's why they don't like her. That's why they want to call her everything but a child of God. They want to say she's ghetto. She grew up rich and she's trying to talk ghetto. Shut up. Okay? That lady be handling her business and she keeps it real. I enjoy hearing her speak, and she keeps the same energy. Now, one person I will give props to as of late, and I remember her and Jasmine got into it. She called her bad bitch built Butch. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's been out here, and y'all can say, well, she's only doing that because she don't want to lose her seat. Regardless, at least she's speaking up. At least she's saying release the Epstein files. At least she's standing against the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? She's keeping the same energy she had about the Epstein files as she's keeping now, unlike Megyn R. Kelly and everybody else. So I will give Marjorie Taylor Greene for that. Props for that. And even Trump kind of disavowed her. Yeah, because remember, she was standing out there with the Epstein victims too. Yeah, I'm going to give people props for props are due. And she has been honest. She's been walking with them victims and taking them all around the White House. Meeting up with them. Oh, yeah, and then she's also introducing a bill to eliminate the H-1B visas. So a lot of MAGA people are happy about that. She's really been against a lot of people in her party are mad at her. I didn't see her on The View last week. I heard she was on The View. I didn't watch it. Again, I'm not, team Marjorie Taylor Greene or nothing like that. But again, when somebody's right, they're right. I don't care what team you're on. I will give you props if you're doing the right thing. If we can condemn and call people out when they're doing the wrong thing, we can also give them a pat on the back of their head, like, good job this time. Okay? So it's very interesting, though. Like, the usual suspects are very quiet. The big, beautiful bill is currently trending. Child, every time I see that name now, I got to think, I'm going to be thinking about old Bubba. Hop Tua and Bubba. Oh my gosh. They are going, oh my goodness. These memes. Twitter is going in, child. Look at these memes, honey. They said, oh, Bubba, when Trump wants the big, beautiful bill, I'm going to drain the swamp. The swamp. Oh, y'all are shady, honey. Objection. Oh, not drain that type of swamp. Danica Lewinsky. Oh, my gosh. Child. Trump's big, beautiful bill. And not the Band-Aid on the ear. Oh, my goodness. Epstein's asked his brother, Mark Epstein, whether Putin have photos of Trump. Oh, yeah, this is the little paperwork here. All right. So this is the one, Mark Epstein. You mean Donnie T. He says here, you and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard. Then he says, and I thought I had tourists. I don't know what that means. Then they say here, ask if Putin has photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Bill Clinton is always involved in some bullshit, And I think maturing and getting older is realizing that Monica Lewinsky was really young. And she was put in a vulnerable situation. Because I know when we were growing up in the 90s, it was more or less made to be like, oh, she's just a whore and a mistress. I didn't realize she was as young as she was because she looked old as hell. I mean, she looked older than 22. I didn't realize she was only 22. I had assumed she was in her 30s. This was a man, I'm assuming at the time, Bill Clinton was like in his late 40s, maybe early 50s at the time. And then that's your boss. So there's that power dynamic, So I think when I go back to revisiting the Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton situation, it was kind of disturbing how she was shamed and, she was very much demonized. And he got to kind of escape away, But yeah, she was very young. She was only 22 years old. Her frontal cortex hadn't developed all the way yet. So, yeah, it's very disturbing. Y'all say she's gorgeous nowadays? I ain't seen her since she gave Bill Clinton head. No, let me stop. Let me look and see what she looked like. I ain't seen her in a long time. Let's see what she looked like. Monica Lewinsky. Today. Oh, she's lost a lot of weight too. Okay. She's 52 now. Wow. Damn, time be flying. I was like in 5th grade when this shit hit. I didn't know what the head. I didn't know what head was. I didn't know none of that shit. Like, the stuff that we had to endure in the 90s is just disgusting. You know, it's like, oh, he's the president. He plays a saxophone. Then we find out he's getting head from somebody who ain't his wife in the White House. So this is what she looks like now. She looks nice. Yeah, that's her now. She looks good for 52. This was her back in the day here. That's what I'm saying. She looked old. That's why I never knew she was only 22. That's an old 90s hairstyle, child. This hairstyle made her look like she was 42. So I just think that's why I thought she was old. I didn't realize she was that young back then. Well, yeah. So, you know, poor Lulu. And this is the ugly lady that blasted her. She was a hater. I forgot what her name, Linda Tripp. I think she wanted to be in Monica Lewinsky's place. And because nobody wanted head from her, she went and told everything. She was a hater. Well, it looks like she's doing okay now. But yeah, you know, like just growing up and maturing and you really seeing stuff as an adult, he was dead wrong for that. He was dead wrong. You know, sad. Yeah, she was only 22. Like I said, I didn't realize she was that young because, shit, her and Linda Tripp looked the same age back then. Shit. But, yeah, it was a lot. The 90s were a real interesting, it was interesting times. Y'all had to be there. Just mess. And then the bitch saved the dress that had the nut stains on there. If I'm, you know, I'm trying to recall my junior high brain. Didn't the dress have stains on there and she like saved the dress? Just a ratchet friend. But friends like that, who needs enemies? And then they did like a DNA sample and found his, you know, just trifling. Trifling. So I'm not surprised. Bill Clinton's always been caught up in some bullshit. There's a biracial man been running around since we was kids talking about Bill Clinton's his daddy, that he got a black prostitute pregnant. But they said that they took a DNA test and he wasn't Bill Clinton's son, but I don't believe it. He looked like Bill Clinton's son. Have y'all seen Bill Clinton's mixed son? But they said the DNA test came back and said it wasn't his son. But he looked like him though. Danny Lee Williams. Yeah, this is him. Look just like Bill Clinton. And it took him years. He was trying to get Bill Clinton to like do a DNA test for years and he refused. That's him. He looked just like Bill Clinton. This him nowadays. Still look like him. That's him and his mama. So, I don't know. But he's been saying it for a long time that he's Bill Clinton's black love child. See, back in the day, they called these side babies love children. I don't know why. I like the name side baby better. But yeah, back then they used to call them love children. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so Bill Clinton got all types of weird skeletons in his closet, child. But yeah, they said they took the DNA test, but I don't believe it because if you're powerful like that, you can just have the DNA test not, you know what I mean? You'd be like, just pay the DNA test people to give the wrong results. So, I don't know. I think he looks like Bill Clinton. Let's not forget, wasn't that Jerry Springer who had all them little half mixed kids, or biracial kids, and he ended up leaving his fortune to his mixed kids because they didn't have him. He had to hide the mixed kids. I had watched some type of documentary on Jerry Springer. Then I fell asleep, so I forgot what happened. But I heard that he left the money to the mixed kids.
You want the latest news in the streets? Join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.